I'm Joe. Today I'm sitting here with...
What about, where are we? What are we doing?
He's Joe.
How about welcome to the True North Lifestyle?
It says that on the intro already.
Oh, it does? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Let's start it over. Like a fucking
Good one.
seal. All right. That's going to go on the outtakes one day.
Oh, man, that's the funniest
All
thing.
right.
Oh, shit.
I can't stop laughing.
When one door closes,
Another one opens.
Welcome to the True North Lifestyle Podcast. I'm Joe. Today, sitting here today with Libby,
Howdy.
Rick Labbe,
howdy.
and Ole Guide Mike is joining us today.
Hi, I'm Joe. He got
The first time you're on the new podcast.
probably the last.
Could be. You're working on it.
He's incognito.
I don't
Joe.
think, I
There's
don't think
always-
you can get kicked off.
There's always shenanigans that happen before we start recording, and
I think
Right.
the
Hard to get
seal
past it.
class-
He hasn't had all his coffee yet.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
well,
I'm working at her.
welcome to our second episode of the True North Lifestyle Podcast. We tried this once already, but with learning new equipment and everything else, we had to trash that one. So we're trying it again.
Yep, just like a new scope.
Mike's being goofy today.
Trashing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, breaking it in, trashing it.
So anyway, today, because it's the beginning of May, we're going to discuss things that are going on this month.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking about it on the way up here. May is kind of like the October of the spring. You know, October is kind of when everything, really gets ramped up. You got moose hunting, deer hunting with archery. You've got
Right.
fishing still, bird hunting. So
April's kind of a blah for everybody, you know. Oh, geez, there's nothing to do. And then when May comes, look out.
yeah,
I like to push it. I like to push April. Just make yourself get out there because
Yeah.
well, shed hunting is obviously growing in popularity, but depends on where you really are. There's a lot of guys picking sheds up already, but up here where we are, it's
Still,
really there's a lot of snow in the mountains.
still 2 feet of snow over at my cabin next door.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know up to camp there's still more snow than what's ideal for picking up horns.
Yeah.
Then you get guys like Garnett texting you pictures on a morning like today.
Well,
Making
he's
you
going
wish
to
you
tell
were
you
out.
he showed you that spot anyway.
That's probably a
I
picture.
showed you that spot.
That's a
anyway.
picture from last year.
It could be. He might be playing that. He knows how it gets to me.
We know him.
So, but April is. I love April just because of the shed hunting, but May is really kicks it off.
I like May because of fishing. I love spring fishing.
Yeah, ice
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a new top on my boat this year and new heater, so
Awesome.
I got a big center console, so she's a little chilly when you're out there floating around the icebergs trying to catch a fish. Jeez, and crow.
I thought you were talking about the Dunphy.
the
You got a new
Dunphy.
top for that.
No, that's for sale.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you got to use it this summer.
Yeah, we'll see. Got a 1964 Dunphy X55 plywood boat.
Wow.
I had the V8 motor redone. She's 330 horsepower.
Maybe we ought to play that Alan Jackson song.
Yeah. That's like a 60 mile
Just
an
an
hour
old
plywood
plywood
boat. Rather than that with a few Tito's and crayons. Oh, shit.
I'm telling you, that boat. If you take that out on Rangeley Lake, you're not going to want to get rid of it. I'm telling you right now,
goes
it is
good.
fun.
Yeah.
You're down real low to the water in it,
Yeah.
and the sound of it alone
Yeah.
will hook you.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
can't wait, really. I'm ordering a new trailer for it. Venture Trailers. Maybe they could sponsor us. Venture Trailer. But
You're
they're
such a
wicked
whore
good
sometimes.
company. I am. They're a good company because you can call them and order whatever you want. Say, hey, I got this boat. This is how long I want it. This is how many axles. Blah blah blah. All aluminum. They'll order it up, build it for you, relatively cheap, I think, for an aluminum trailer.
How much does that thing weigh, Lib?
The Dunphy?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It can't be more than 1,800 pounds. What's a V8 motorway? Small block.
I don't know, but
Yeah. And then 5 or 6 sheets of plywood.
yeah.
She's pretty thin. You can
Marine
look at-
plywood.
I
skied.
hope.
I skied behind that boat when we had it, and it was
Wow.
that
Yeah.
thing. It would get you up, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm hard to pull up on one
Yeah.
ski, so
All
I
I
need some
got left
horsepower.
right now is the upholstery, and that's not cheap.
no,
No,
nothing's cheap, Lee.
no.
So,
No.
but
I used to ski a lot growing up.
Yeah, I
Skied
like to
every
ski.
single day when I was living on Messalonski Lake.
Yeah,
We called it Snow Pond, but yeah, me and my brother both, we were big time slalom guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
young when I got my first threw off the ski and started doing
Yeah.
one ski. And by the time I was 15 years old, I'd show up and show off, and they'd say, "Hey, you want to ski?" I'd roll up my jeans, say, "Give me that solemn ski," and I'd
Yeah.
put it on the
were they
shore,
jeans or
and
corduroys?
I'd had both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big thing was to see, how far you could lay down on those glass mornings. We'd
Yeah.
go out and ski every morning and
Yeah.
just make like 20 cuts.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised, 20 cuts on a slalom ski.
You're tired.
Putting your shoulder down, you're almost done. That's like your morning workout. We do it at 6 a.m. because the lake was dead calm in the summer. Yeah.
I
All
skied
right.
a couple of years ago.
Well, I was just gonna say, you get that Dunphy going, and Rick and I are coming over,
Yeah.
and let's
We'll
go
be over.
skiing one day.
Okay, it's on now.
All right.
Yeah, I will get that thing ready.
We'll throw some milk jugs out for buoys.
Yeah.
I'll bring the med cube.
Just dial 911 for life flight as soon as I start that thing up. Get the helicopter in the air.
Lifeline. Yeah.
When I was younger, I hit a stage where I was into the knee boards real heavy.
I was just
This
going
is-
to go to that.
Oh, yeah.
I
This
was
is
just
back.
going
This
there.
is back like late '80s, and so I lived on a canal and had quite a period where we didn't have a boat. So what we did is, Old Blue, the old Chevy pickup truck that we still have,
Right.
we ran that along the canal and we skied behind the truck, and
No
it was
way.
it was pretty effective. Yeah, it was fun. The only problem you'd have is if you had someone that wasn't quite experienced enough to keep themselves off the shore, because it's constantly wanting to kind of pull you to the shore.
You ever get a little gravel rash?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But what was fun about it is all the boats that were in the canal, they'd come by and give us wakes, and they were coming straight the other way, so we'd have good
Oh, yeah.
wakes to play on. But
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not really built for that. I'm kind of big for that kind of
Yeah.
water play.
What about the gators?
You learn not to worry about them down there.
I'm worried I'm in Maine.
Yeah, they don't bother you.
Ski around them.
Ski around.
I guess I would kind of liken it to people that come here and think the black bears are going to attack you.
I was supposed to go down hunting Osceolas, 3 weeks ago? Maybe,
You what?
maybe I was going down. I don't want no part of that. He
Why?
said,
Oh, you
yeah,
got to
we-
go down and try
we,
that,
We
Mike.
hunt
Yeah.
this public swamp, and after I heard swamp, and that was all I knew.
Oh no, I didn't realize you wanted. I got some guys down there.
Do
that
you
can
really?
go- oh yeah, I got a lot of friends down there.
Oh, no kidding.
That turkey hunt in that area, Osceola, because Osceolas are in a real confined area. They're one of the toughest
Huh.
turkeys out of the Grand Slam, just because it's getting access to hunt them.
Yeah.
But
Huh.
anyway, let's come back to Maine.
Yeah.
So fishing
Florida
wise,
sounds good right now.
no, maybe
yeah.
back in
Just for
January.
a week.
Fishing wise, yeah. So tomorrow morning, me and Gary Williamson are gonna go fish at a secret spot. I'm not gonna say where, because he's taking me there. But
For $50. You
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
text me
50.
and I'll give it to you.
oh, for $50?
Yeah,
No,
$50.
yeah. You better not.
$50.
He's actually worried about it now
He should be.
because he knows you.
Gary just sponsored us, so he may not sponsor us if you give that up.
Oh, all right. I'll leave it alone.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to fishing tomorrow morning, and then we got. I just ordered a brand new Yamaha jet motor, and he's putting that on over at Moose Head Marina,
Yeah.
over in Rockwood. Mark's putting that on today, I think, and so I'm gonna have a brand new jet boat for the river,
What
Nice.
kind of boat are you putting that on?
a 16-foot Lund flat bottom.
Oh,
It's almost like a riverboat. You can stand on the rails of that riverboat and take a leak.
Really?
Stand on the rail and you can't tip it.
No kidding.
Stable.
I'm
is
going to
crazy.
challenge it. I'm going to say maybe you can, Rick, but if I stand on that side, I don't know.
All right, we'll do a video.
All
on it.
right.
But
That's awesome. That's a cool
Describe
boat.
Rail.
oh yeah, it's gonna be I got a 35. I used to have a 25 on my Mercury, which went really good, and this is a 35 horse Yamaha. What I'm excited about is the 35 horse Yamaha weighs less than the 25 horse Mercury. It's like
Really?
38 pounds lighter.
Oh,
Wow,
shit.
that's quite a
Is that
bit.
tiller drive?
Yeah, tiller
No
drive.
kidding.
Yeah, jet.
Cool.
Yeah.
You lose a little bit of horsepower with that, don't you?
Yeah,
when you
that
go to
would
jet?
that would normally be like a 50 horse prop,
Okay.
and it drops it to a 35 jet.
Yeah.
See, yeah. And
Oh,
my-
so it's not a 35 going down to say a 20.
no,
Okay.
it's rated
They
at
rate
a
it.
35 now, being a jet, but it's really would be a 50.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With a prop. on
You're
it.
right.
I had that
Lose about 15 horse.
I don't know, 10 years ago or something. I had that tracker jet boat. It was an inboard jet,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun. I remember you gave me a bunch of spots
Oh yeah.
on the river to
Yeah.
try out, and it was
Yeah. I
we
catch a
always
lot
catch
of fish on the river. A lot of fish. Yeah.
so. And you got your big boat too, which is
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Lake
That's gonna
fishing, Moosehead, all the big lakes, Rangeley. I'll be over your way checking out some of your spots.
No, you can't. It's all froze up still. Yeah. And
We'll
they
cut a
don't
hole-
allow boats like yours in Rangeley.
I get a permit. Yeah. And then
yeah, come on over anytime. but
Smelts are running.
Just let
you
me know. Let me know.
My buddy Mike O'Neill just let me know the other night the Smelt started running. So, the next 2 to 3 weeks, it starts down south and it moves all the way north, kind of a progressive thing. Everybody just travels a little further north. Every 2 or 3 days it changes and this lake opens up, that lake
Yeah.
opens up. And, as they open up, the sunlight comes in and that triggers the Smelt run. And so that's always fun.
Yeah, we were talking earlier before we started. It's one of the things I've never done is smelting. Haven't gone that route yet. It's
That's
just
crazy.
I can't believe that.
No. I
yeah,
can't
I know. It's just
We
I
got to
don't
take
know.
you over to Athens then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where the party is.
That's where it is. I've seen more fist fights. And back 35, 40 years ago, they rolled a state trooper's car over one night when they showed up. There was so many fights, and we laughed. I said, we better get out of here.
Time to leave.
Yeah.
Well, Garnett's going to take me out because there's
He'd be a good backup.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Nobody'd mess with him.
No.
They'd like, who's this dude?
Yeah.
Looking up at him,
He there's a spot right here close by that I understand the big smelt run, so we're gonna
Yeah.
go check that out. What about you, Mikey? What are you looking forward to in the month of May?
Turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, turkeys. So I'm already on turkey mode. I've been down, excuse me, I've been down the farm and both farms actually. Went down there and talked to the farmers, made sure everything's okay, and shot a whole basket full of crows while we were there.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We didn't get a lot of footage. I don't know what happened.
I see
You
a couple.
didn't turn
I see a
the
couple
camera on?
drop out of the sky in that little video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what's cool about that? You can zoom those. You can zoom in more with those, and then copy it.
Yeah.
So it gives you better
Yeah.
views of the crows coming
Right,
down. Huh?
right,
Yeah,
right.
I found that out when I was making that clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we did real good on the crows, and the guys at the farm. One of my buddies, he had a stroke, and I hadn't seen him since then, so I got to touch base with him. And anyway, so we're ready to go though. Turkey season, and then soon as I hunt the first week of turkey, I come right back here and start scouting for deer.
Yeah.
'Cause I love
Let's back up to the crows for a second because it's when you talked about that on one of your posts a couple weeks ago. Obviously, I know people hunt crows. I didn't realize you'd spend any time doing it.
Oh yeah. We every year we usually make a 2 or 3 day deal of it, but this year time was tight, so we just went down and did a day hunt and dropped off some moose meat to the farm, and then I came back home. It was a quick trip, but
Yep.
yeah. But crows is, I don't know if anybody. A couple of guys have told me they hunt crows and that, and it's very challenging. People don't think it is, but it's very challenging. They're wicked smart.
Wicked
smart.
Wicked smart.
Wicked. So I mean, there's a lot of tricks to learn. Like the guy the other day, right off the bat in the morning, one came in, the guy shot it as soon as it got there, and I'm going, we're done.
Yeah.
For about an hour.
Just smarting the whole flock up.
Yeah, they send that sentry in, and if you kill him, it's not a good idea. And the guy shot him. So anyway, we had
Just get a drone and make it look like a crow and fly it up around there. Be your
Yeah,
sentry.
that sounds legal.
Just a decoy, right?
You paint it black, I guess.
We send up a drone. We might as well arm it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Well,
Now that would be fun.
I think somebody's probably already
Yeah.
thought
Hey,
of that.
It's fun until they're coming at you
So-
because you see some of those crazy videos of the
Crows.
drones being used in
the
war.
drones, yeah.
Oh yeah, I want
Speaking
no part of that.
Speaking though, I just saw this morning, and this was an innovative idea. John Lamarca, did you see he posted on his story? He took a Tom turkey decoy and he mounted a GoPro on the front of it. So he's going to get that
yeah.
footage coming in, and I'm like, wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
that. I've done that before.
You have?
Yeah, not
Yeah.
with a GoPro though. I did it with a regular
Camera.
with a regular Canon. Those Canons we always used before.
Yeah.
I put one of those on one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on movie mode.
What I had, I put a laying hen. So when I put that laying hen, then I put the camera right on her back, huh?
Yeah. That was some close footage.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did you have that on the porn
What
channel?
do they call that? POV or something?
There was like 10 Jake the first time 10 Jakes came in, and they chase and run around. It was like 2 minutes later the camera was laying on the ground.
It's actually a pretty cool idea.
It is.
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
You can just put your tripod out there with a camera on it.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that. They don't bother me.
No,
No.
yeah.
I also noticed a lot of guys that are running shed dogs are putting the GoPros on their dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
getting
saw
that
that too. Yeah.
perspective. It's crazy how the different things. There's something I'm going to do once I get the plane up and going here is getting footage. So they have the Insta 360s, the camera that it does 360. I think GoPro has one too, but the Insta seems to be the one that the pilots are using. But you take it and put it on a stick right off the back of the plane, so it gives you perspective, looking at the whole plane flying and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool
Cool.
footage.
That
So
is
we're going to try some of that stuff out this summer.
Yeah, I bet it would be. Yeah,
But
it's cool.
Yeah, we kind of need a couple of drones, because the thing about drones is that we can all share the stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We could share
Yeah.
like in deer season. You put it over
Yeah.
a road that's all.
They got a
snow.
new drone now that fits in your pocket.
Yeah, we got them.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
open it up and you talk to it. You're like,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
like hover at 12 feet and it goes, vroom.
I heard they sell a lot of those in Ukraine.
Does that drone come in French or American or what? You got to learn it to
Russian.
You got to teach it to talk Russian.
Russian. Yeah.
yeah, Neil was giving me the tutorial on that drone the other day. That he used it for some of the stuff that he was doing.
Yeah,
And,
$200.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
You lose
cheap.
it, you lose it.
Well, that
Beat
was the price I heard, but when I looked it up, it was a bit more than that, but not. terrible.
$299.99.
Oh, they're getting popular. We ought to stop
Yeah.
talking about them.
Well, the thing is, they don't tell you that you also got to buy 2 more batteries. They've got to buy a charger. So I mean
Right.
that's where.
And maybe that's what it was like the bundle they sold
They
or
kind
something.
of jacks it up. a
Amazon
little.
bundle.
But still, really, when you look at what, technology's always doing that. The drones were first; they were $1,500, and
Right.
Yeah.
now they're down to where they're all affordable. And
They are great, to do like B-roll footage,
Oh,
for
yeah.
a movie.
Just a
They-
different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking in and, to add to a film. They
Yeah.
just,
It'll follow you too. I
Yeah.
don't know how well it would do through the woods, but it'll follow you on a snowmobile across the lake.
Yep.
I wondered that through the woods if it'll, navigate
No,
through
I
tree
see it
limbs.
run right into
That's what I
a
wondered.
snowbank.
Well, they can't.
No.
Yeah, they can't be a canopy. If there's a canopy,
Yeah, this
they're
thing-
done, right? Yeah.
Cody sent his out up to Chesuncook there a few months ago and said loop around at 50 feet or whatever it was, and because we was next to shore and the shoreline was angled, that thing just kept right on going, run right into the snowbank.
Wow.
I've had one for a while now, and I think it's pretty cool. I send it up at night at sunset, right out of my driveway, and I fly it down to the pond and get
Oh,
a
no
sunset
kidding.
and bring it back. So my neighbor, her son kept wanting one, huh? Oh, geez, I want a drone like Mike's got. I want a drone, so she bought him one. So she said, hey, will you come over and show him how to run his drone? I said, sure, I'd love to. We go over and we put it up in the air, and it went up, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 feet. We haven't seen it since. That thing took off across E.J. Carrier's garage, and I never saw it since. So I had to buy him another one.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Something happened. I don't know why.
You hit home and it went to somebody else's home.
Yeah, he bought it used on Uncle Henry's.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
You hit home and that thing had it.
Guys got it for sale again this week.
That's genius.
one night I sent it down 201 to the bar, and they were playing cornhole out back.
Yeah.
So I told Marie I'm going to send it down to the cornhole. So it went down and I got to the bar and everything pretty good, and I was just
from your house.
Yeah, from my house. Yeah, I got a half a mile on mine, so I'm pretty maxed out at the bar there. But anyway, it was doing its thing and all that. Well, then pretty soon it was just gone. I couldn't see it I said, gee, I kept saying to my wife, oh my God, it's the best footage I ever got in my life. Them guys down there. And about 5 minutes later, it comes landed right in the back of my truck. Right where I took off
Like a
from.
good dog, it came home.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But then I ran back the stuff, and the guys, you could see them go like this.
Yeah.
I lost one winter before last. I was checking out there was a group of bulls that were there. I was checking to see, where they were yarded up, and sent it up, and I had it on my phone and the screen and everything, and the screen went blank, and I'm hitting home and everything, trying to get it to come back. Never saw it again.
Never found it.
No, and that was my nephew's. I was in the same predicament. I had to go buy him a drone.
Was that the one that we used that time? You and I sent one up years ago and tried it. Remember, up on Braley South?
It probably was. Well, no, that was we used one for recovery one time, but that was Eric's.
Yeah.
Oh no, you weren't there. I don't know if you were there.
No, but that was probably the same drone.
Yeah. But oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that now. Right.
I told Joe. I said, Joe, there's a winter road way down the back of this cut. I said, send that thing up there and see if the winter road they'd cut it. So I didn't know if it was still there and they'd cut over.
Yeah, we were up scouting when we set up camp. I think
Joe sends it up, and there was 2 moose or whatever, and we found that you got to keep them pretty high. The moose don't like them.
They don't.
You got to keep them high.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep. That's one thing we learned at the first flight. Get high.
Yeah.
Probably why you lost that kid's drone.
Yeah,
Just stubbed one out in the ashtray, and he's like, hey, can you come help my son with his drone? Oh, yeah.
I was messaging with Ethan Eisenhower. He's going to come on with us here probably next month. I think we're going to fit him in the schedule. But I don't know if any of you follow his page, but he's a photographer, and he really specializes in the moose stuff. He does camera traps, which are basically, for people that don't know what that is, it's a trail cam. It has a high quality camera in it that takes really, really good photos, and he's got some amazing shots. But also he does a lot of that drone stuff, and he just recently got one where he had a group of bulls. There might have been 4 or 5 or 6 bulls, and one of them had one antler with a bloody pedicle, and you
saw that.
See the antler laying back in the snow and just lost it.
I did see it.
Which he's probably trying to, the ultimate is getting a drop on film, which I've been trying to do that with trail cams, but haven't had any luck yet. But he's getting pretty close.
Yeah.
There is one on YouTube of that bull that shakes his head and drops both of them.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That's pretty cool. That was from a drone, huh? I think it was.
Must have been.
I had footage this past season. I think maybe I showed you, but it was a really nice bull, and he was probably 500 yards away. He was a ways off, but I stopped, and he was looking at me and knew something was there, and he just, while I was filming him, he shook his head, and I thought for sure I was going to get it double drop, and they didn't. No such luck. They didn't come off.
Yeah.
But
so what about Fiddlehead and Mike?
Yeah, it'll be a while. When I was in southern Maine the other day, I ran into a girl that I know down there, and she picks, and she said they were just busting up over the hard stuff now. They're just coming through.
We had a heavy rain yesterday, so usually after warm rain, we get a warm rain, then we get 2-3 days of sun. That's what it takes. Yeah.
I think up here though, probably we won't get the numbers like we usually do because the water didn't flood.
Yeah.
The water.
Right.
you people that are listening, pay attention now. The water has to flood the banks. That's what really brings them out.
Brings them up.
Washes off them.
Yeah.
I call them husk. I don't know what the real name is, but when that goes over them husk, then you'll get more fiddleheads that way.
Yeah, you always get more fiddleheads when there's a big flood every year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know about this year. You know, it's gonna.
Nancy and I got one spot. We take the jet boat down to Kennebec, and we got a spot there. It's a huge flat, you know, and it's all big hardwood maples in the end. It's just one huge flat, probably, I don't know, it's probably 10, 12 acres. But, I mean, you fill a pillowcase there in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. All the fiddleheads you want.
And
nobody knows about it.
Fiddleheading's no different than anything else. You don't release your trout spots. You don't release your fiddle.
Oh, God, no.
Fiddlehead
You
do not
spots
tell your fiddlehead spots.
Right.
And the thing is, I got one on Sandy Stream. You can look down that stream as far as the eye can see when they're coming, and it's just nothing but fiddleheads.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I have to park my truck on the road where people can see it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing. So
They might think you're fishing, though.
No. Yeah, maybe. I'd like to think so. But,
yeah.
But
Catching 6-inch brookies down there on Sandy Stream.
You know, it's funny. We love fiddleheads, and that's one of a big buck's favorite foods. You know.
Really?
Yeah. They eat fiddleheads all fall.
There is something about them. They got that. I love the texture of them. A lot of people, kind of don't like the texture, but I think that's the best part. They're kind of meaty and kind of real earthy. Yeah. Really
the way I look at it is, if I don't got to use your thumb to go down behind them and cut them with your thumb and bring them up.
Right.
If they're this high, I don't want them.
I don't want them either. No,
I know.
No.
It's amazing. People.
I like them like 4 inches and under.
Exactly. Yep. Those are the good ones.
Are they more tender? You think when they're?
Oh yeah.
When they're younger like that.
Yeah, they get tough when they get bigger.
Soon as you see that fern starting to come out, they're going by. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of people still pick them, but not me. I want to go down with that thumb and pull them right out, boy.
So you know how everybody people don't know you got to clean them, right? You got to clean your fiddlehead. So we go down the river like 2 miles in this one spot, and with a jet boat. So my jet boat probably does 25 miles an hour, you know, down through the river, and then you always got it's like a wind tunnel in the river anyway, between the trees. You always got a 10, 15 mile an hour wind. So after we fiddlehead, we'll come back up, and Nance will stand up, and she'll just shake that pillowcase, you know, and all the little fern dust, you know, that brown fern dust, there'll be like, we'll get 80 to 90% of it just on the trip back. Oh yeah. With that wind, it's just like half of it's going over me because she's standing in front of the boat, but I'm like,
but the fiddleheads are clean.
That's right, they're all clean. We got them cleaned.
Just put the kids in the back of the truck on the way home.
Yeah, right.
Let it rip.
Yeah,
I like to pick clean. You know, I pick clean that way. I don't have so much to.
Yeah.
And then I started out a few years back. I was selling a lot of them around town, but you know, I'm the kind of guy. Some woman
give them away.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Like, you know, like, remember Gripper?
Oh yeah.
I used to give him to Gripper and his wife, and after Gripper passed away, I would still take him down to his wife, and she'd try to pay me, and I'd say, I can't take money.
Yeah.
If I take money from you, Gripper will come down and shoot me. You know, he would too. So I said, I can't charge you nothing. But I like now I don't even hardly sell any now.
Yeah. My favorite way with fiddleheads, though, I don't know how you guys try them, is real butter, and you know, you boil them and cook them in boiling water. Real butter, a little bit of vinegar, and a little bit of pepper. Yeah.
Basic.
Yeah. We go up to. Because we go up to Candor a lot. And Marie goes to the farm, gets the farm butter up there. Huh?
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Fiddlehead season. That's what you want, that good old farm butter.
A little garlic in there, too, is good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, garlic. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
I was holding out on that.
Yeah. You got to put the whole recipe out, Rick.
I know.
You know, you're missing one ingredient.
You always got to hold one.
Yeah.
Lib, you a Fiddlehead guy?
No.
I didn't think so.
I don't eat much that grows out of the ground.
We'll send you some.
I eat a lot of stuff that walks on the ground, but I ain't much on grass. I called the store Yeah, last night was just, I was in the excavator and I forgot what time it was, and I was supposed to be responsible for dinner, and I called the girl down at the local store and said, hey, set me out some hamburger and some type of grass that my wife will eat.
Some type of grass.
I got down there and she had one of them pre-made salads sitting on the loading dock when I got there, and went home, and yeah, that started the night. I don't know. I couldn't tell you arugula or from lettuce or cabbage unless it's labeled at Hannaford. That's what I can tell you. I have no interest. I haven't 59 years, and I haven't eaten a whole carrot or a whole thing of broccoli.
Come on.
No, you kidding me?
No.
That's what's wrong with them.
Absolutely not.
Like
Something.
No, and I can
It's
show you
malnutrition.
I'll probably drop
Stunted
dead next week, but
brain growth.
Drop dead next week.
I can show you I just had a physical from the VA, and they're like, what's your secret? I'm like, I don't eat that shit that comes out of the ground. You look at that. You look at the what is it? The 12 dirtiest foods. You ever look that up? Strawberries is like number one.
Oh yeah.
They treat all that shit with chemicals to get it to grow. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends on where you're getting your strawberries
Right,
from.
you
I
got to
think.
get them.
Yeah.
You
don't get me wrong. If you went out
guy.
back and picked strawberries, that'd be
Yeah.
fine. But you don't buy strawberries in January that haven't been
No, right.
treated.
Nope.
Right.
They're all
But I
coming
mean,
from
like
Guatemala.
living in Maine, we go to a strawberry farm and
Yeah.
pick strawberries. So we go, you know, we go rake blueberries and
Right.
pick our fiddleheads out of the ground. And I mean, dirt's good for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean
You know,
strawberries, blueberries.
you eat
the
like what
fruits. I like that, but
They say you eat like a couple pounds of dirt a year if you added it all
I
up.
eat more than that.
Did you?
Guys, I was drilling holes yesterday in concrete and ate half a pound of shit.
I know.
Spitting dust all day. I've been there before.
He's strong as an ox and everything, and it's like you don't eat broccoli. I mean, geez, Liv, I'm worried about you, bro.
Roasted vegetables. That's the way Liz makes them most of the time now. Is she roasts them? Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a little olive oil and roast them.
I like potatoes. I grow potatoes with it, and that's the only little corner of my wife's garden I
The
get
best,
is potatoes.
I tell you, you guys, this year I took all my elk from out west and I did it to save time, and I quartered out all my mussels. Instead of slicing them all into steaks like I usually would do, and then vacuum seal them, I just muscled everything out, and I vacuum sealed it in one big mussel. Well, we bought a Rec-Tec smoker, and I'll tell you right now, Nancy cooked an elk. I don't know, it was just one big mussel. I just label them rump or tenderloin or whatever they'd be. But she cooked that the other night, and that was one of the best roasts I've ever had in my life.
Really?
No kidding.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Huh.
Yeah, it's got like a crust on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I throw them in my smoker too.
Yeah,
I
rare
like
in
'em
the
like
middle
that.
Yeah,
and crusted on the outside. Jeez, that
Yeah.
was good. Yeah.
I do like the smoker.
Hey, not to
What-
change the subject. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is it what's it fueled by? What are you smoking with?
Pellets.
Pellet smoker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That made smoking easy.
Yeah.
The pellet.
yeah.
I don't like the pellets.
You can get hickory, apple, whatever.
Yeah,
want,
you can. You can.
Yeah.
I'll put a little apple in with it, but I just use briquettes.
Oh, briquettes.
Yeah, get them going on the outside. And then once they going real good, then put them in the smoker.
Oh,
What
yeah.
I'll do is I'll watch it, and then when I see them getting used, I'll make another one, and then pull that out and put another one in.
Right.
My smoker's kind of small, so you can do that.
Right.
Hey, but I wanted to mention something. Now, you notice how many wild strawberries there was last year in the woods?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've
Crazy.
never seen so many as there was last year.
Yeah.
Because, picking wild strawberries ain't much fun, huh?
No.
No,
No,
it's
they're
the
pretty
worst.
small.
Yeah, but last year I
Yeah.
actually picked, I picked enough so Marie could make strawberry
You
shortcake.
find a lot of them trout fishing. I do. You
Yep.
know, walking into small ponds and
Yep.
stuff.
I felt like there was a lot more when we
Yeah.
were kids.
Yeah.
And the
It
turkeys,
just seemed like years ago, like
Well, we were
There just seemed to be
shorter,
a lot
so we were
more.
closer to the ground.
maybe so. They seemed
And
bigger
our
to
eyes-
us.
and our eyesight wasn't so bad.
We were looking for smaller things when we were kids.
Right.
I just remembered strawberries being a thing. Like we always picked them in the summer when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah.
But they are
Yeah.
harder to find. now.
Always went
Yeah.
to the farms and picked them.
Canadians, you drive when you drive up in Canada when they're out, they love them up there. There'll be cars lined right up down the road picking wild strawberries.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't got much to do, huh? You're up there picking those.
Right.
things. Boy, I'll tell you, but they are good though, huh?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the turkeys and the grouse love the leaves, huh?
They do.
And
right.
you pull your belly out of a grouse, and you'll find wild strawberries a lot of times. I'm the leaves, not the strawberries.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when are you killing your birds? Those June partridge, Mike?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of birds this spring.
Yeah, and those colt's foots, the little yellow flowers, the colt's foots.
Yeah.
I see some yesterday.
Oh,
The
yeah.
first ones I've
No
seen.
kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw two of them, and because the grouse and turkeys love those too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking about grouse, I think, so what makes a good year on grouse, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but it's when you have a dry spring, a normal weather spring, you'll have more chicks because they lay all their chicks and they all die from pneumonia when you have a wet spring. So
Right.
you can remember the last, 3 or 4 years, last year was pretty decent. And, so it takes a couple of years. Once all the birds die off, it takes a couple of years for them to come back. But I think if it stays pretty moderate this year, we're going to have a really good bird fall. There'll be birds everywhere up north.
Yeah. We've had a couple. We've had a couple good ones, huh?
Yeah, we have.
They do though, because when they lay their, a lot of people. Here's a wives' tale for you that's false. Okay, you people gonna say my grandfather told me. Well, grouse do not have double hatchings. They don't have. People say, oh, they had 2 hatches this year. It's actually almost biological impossible because the hen would die trying to raise 2 clutches.
Right.
It stresses them to the max anyway. But what it is when they lay their eggs, if one of those eggs incubates, if one of those eggs hatches, they're done. They store semen, but once an egg hatches, they're done. Now, if that whole clutch is destroyed by coons or weather or whatever it might be, they can lay another hatch. They're like chickens. Chickens store semen, and Libby does. And
Oh yeah, full of it most of the time.
but anyway,
You should have been a biologist.
well, no, that old
He just
tale,
has such a way of explaining it.
well, because I don't have the fancy words, what they call that stuff. But
Right.
No,
yeah,
that is the fancy word for it. Don't back up from that. Okay?
yeah.
Store
But turkeys are the same way. Turkeys are exact same way. People, they had 2. Well, they don't because they can't. It's impossible pretty much. So yeah, a lot of people believe that they have double hatches, but it's not true, folks. So your grandfather, but there was an old tale that the old folks, I mean, we were young, we thought that too, huh? So
No.
but I've learned it over the years, and there's some pretty good reading. And of course, whenever I tell this stuff, people, oh no, my father told me, and that's not true. I go, Google it. Google it and you see for yourself. We can do that now.
Yeah, either that or Chat GPT. You can learn anything on there.
Yeah, Neil has almost got it pounded into our heads.
Yeah, I use it a
And
lot.
I can't even ask him a question anymore. And he
My
said,
buddy
"Did you
Russ
ask
Ames-
ChatGPT yet?"
My buddy Russ Ames sends me, because I kept asking him stuff, and he's a Marine warden.
Yep.
And I kept asking him stuff, and he just one night sends me Chat GPT. Here you go. Here's the app, Rick. You got to use this, and it's pretty informative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
What's next?
back to the turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Are you guiding turkey hunts, or are you just hunting for yourself?
No, I'm doing the youth day, like we do for the Maine Moose kids there, or Moose Maine kids. I always get it mixed up one way or the other, Ron also.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're doing that hunt, and then Cam and I are doing Monday, Tuesday, and I got clients Wednesday, and I got Running Hill game calls. He's coming, so then that's it. So I guess you can call it a little bit of guiding, but
I got a feller I need you to take.
okay.
We talked about it.
Yep.
I think.
But those, those 3 weeks straight at 2 a.m. and being at the farm for coffee at 3, go pick up your hunters at 4, hunt all day, and get home, take a nap, and then next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. again, and that, that's tough on us old guys,
How's your hearing, Mike?
Not good. Not good. Like I can hear, like a lot of times, especially if Cam's with me, he gets a kick out. We'll hear a turkey gobble, like, oh, there we go, right there. He goes, Dad, he's over here.
This isn't helping your guiding sales.
I know, but that's the way it's gotten lately.
Yeah, when it goes, it goes. You can't. Can't
Joe,
deny it.
you have issues with it.
Oh, issues. Yeah, I'd say.
You're
Absolutely.
better now, though, right?
Huh?
I mean, I don't. It's really day-to-day life. It's not an issue. It's with moose.
You
And I
still
think-
hard.
Direct.
Yeah, I mean, my hearing aids help some.
Right.
Turn them all the way up and custom tune them and all that stuff. But there's nothing as good as that. You can't replicate it.
Yeah.
They haven't
no.
made anything yet that can replicate the human ear.
I'm so fortunate. I can hear a bull grunt a long, long ways.
Yeah.
I'll hear that thing and I'll look and everybody will look. There's a bull. Yeah, very fortunate. But if the wife's talking to me about something, I'm deaf and a hammer.
I hear that. I hear that all the time, man.
I'm good though. I can remember like the last few words because she'll say, "Are you listening?" I'll be, "Yeah, okay." And then what happened?
Yeah. You got to go back and make
You
up a
get
story
stumbled.
and hope you're close. Yeah. I never would have believed how far a person could hear a bull grunt if I hadn't witnessed it out in Alaska with Shanzy, because I'm sitting there talking to him and I'm looking at him and he perks up all of a sudden and looks because he heard that grunt 500 yards out.
Yeah.
There's a
It's
bull
just
walking.
so
Whoa.
distinct that there's nothing like it in the woods.
All right.
I was
Nothing.
But do you think if a person got over there at 500 yards, you wouldn't be able to hear it?
probably not.
It's the air in a bull's lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
Probably not. It's
But
just
it's
so
those big sound waves that come
Yeah.
out of
there's nothing like it. I had a guy one night and we had a big bull coming. He was a long ways away, but he was uphill. So it was carrying, but it was raining. And I was getting all excited, listening. The client said, "What do you hear?" I said, "There's a bull grunting up there." I said, "Oh, there's a cow." And he goes, "Sounds like a dog barking." And I'm like, "Dude, we're 30 miles from even a possibility of a dog." So, yeah. But I'm fortunate for that. And then people, the bull comes in. I just love moose hunting anyways, but the bull will come in and then they shut up. And then that one stick that just goes click. And now I haven't heard him walk for 150 yards. And now he's 75 yards away and he breaks the stick on purpose, right? They
Absolutely.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely on purpose. Just to
Dominant
say,
ones.
yeah,
Dominant ones. Yeah.
I'm here and I'm getting closer, but I'm not running my mouth.
Right.
But I'm here. And people are like, he disappeared. I'm like, shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah.
And that one, like, how did you know he was there? I'm like, you didn't hear that stick break? I wasn't listening for a stick break. Well, I was. Right?
Right.
We are listening for what we know. Just that antler rubbing on an alder. They're doing that on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like,
because if they don't want to be heard, they're not heard.
Yeah, they don't want to be
eat,
heard,
right.
right? And they disappear, gone.
Let
But-
one smell you. One smells you, and you don't even know they run away
You
sometimes.
don't even know
huh?
they're gone. No.
No.
turn and gone. I had
Yeah.
one sneak in within 50 yards last year when my brother-in-law had a tag, and I didn't hear that prick come in because I was so intent on this other one across the road. I had two of them going, and this one was grunting good. This one was just very sporadic, and then all of a sudden, this one down front just won't stop flapping his gums. And I'm like, he's got to come up. He's got to come up. He's got to come up. And then all of a sudden, my wife or my brother-in-law moved, and this thing come out of the bushes at, less than 50 yards. And he went up over that banking, and all I could see was antlers going. And I'm like, oh, he had snuck down there probably 35 yards. And we never
saw him.
even
knew he
heard
was
him. I
there.
was turned away from him, but I couldn't hear him come in there.
I hear elk are the same way, Rick. They can leave, and you never even know they left.
Yeah, and so elk hunting, it's almost the same as a moose, but you'll hear an elk bugle sometimes 3/4 of a mile, half a mile easily, just a faint, bugle. And lots of times, in fact, most of the big bulls I've killed didn't really sound like a mature bull. They don't let that bugle out. It's a squeal, just. And a couple years ago, I killed one with my bow out in Wyoming, and I almost thought it was a coyote. You know how a coyote will just let a little yip howl out of him? And I went, I think that was an elk. So whenever you bugle back at an elk, or you've bugled and he returns the bugle to you, I always split the difference and I hurry, but you want to split the difference because they already know right where you are at a half a mile away. They'll come within 50 yards of you every time. So I split the difference, which catches them off guard, and I'll usually catch them coming in. And but after they bugle, I just go silent unless I can't find them again. Then I'll rip another bugle off or something, or just a short, just like that, and that'll get their attention. Yeah. Then big bulls like that little short grunt, you know.
It's always amazed me how moose and elk, you know, anything that calls like that, pinpoint you instantly. Like when they know where it's coming from. That's why if you're not using a decoy, especially in open country, a lot of times they're going to look, and they're like, something's not right.
Like an old gobbler, same way.
Same way with turkeys, right?
Yeah. Sure, elk hunting's the same. I only elk hunted once, but when I set up for my moose, I take time. Sometimes I'll brush us right in. I'll get set where I want, where I can just reach over and rake a tree or shake a bush or break a limb or whatever. But I want my clients hidden, because lots of times I've seen where guys will call and they'll have a bull come in and they'll be like, oh, let's get set up. Well, lots of times he's already looking at you.
Yeah.
You know, happens fast.
Yeah, they cover ground, because lots of times they'll come. I had one last year come. He grunted once. I bet he came close to a half a mile, and then all of a sudden I heard him coming across this beaver flowage, and he was sneaking. And the only thing I heard was the different movement of the water. You know how we could hear the water running, then all of a sudden I could hear the water change,
go around
a little bit. Yeah, and I'm like, he's in that friggin' beaver flowage, and I could see the beaver flowage, and we were in wide open. Like it was just a rookie move. I wasn't even where I wanted to go and set up for the night. I just got to this one spot, and you just stop and like, I'm just going to throw something out.
Right.
I threw something out, and I heard that one grunt, and I stood there for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I could hear that water flow move, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He is right there, and he busted. He's probably looking right at us, turned around, never heard him again.
You talk about when they come in, the dominant bulls, when they come in, they want you to know it. They want you to know it. They're going to break. And I actually talked to a biologist about this, and they will purposely flay their foot so they can
cover more surface,
step on something and break it,
Yeah.
And one time, Mud Pond up by Merrill Strip, I was calling one in up there, and he was destroying everything coming in. I mean, just the woods, sounds like the woods were just caving in.
I love it when that happens.
The loudest I ever heard one.
Hair standing on the back of your neck.
I know it. I'm telling the guy that. The guy was guiding. He was a basketball player for the Minneapolis Lakers.
Really? Wow.
They hadn't had a team since 1959 or 60, and he was a giant guy. And because this was maybe 20 years ago or whatever, but so anyway, and so I'm just like talking with Joe and talking to him about this,
Yeah.
So I go, oh my God. I says, he's going to come right on that road right there. He's coming. He's going to come around. As soon as his toes touch that road, you better drill him. Well, I want to look at his rack first. We don't need to.
I can hear it.
Well, we've all done it long enough now.
Right.
You can tell by the tone of those antlers.
Right.
How good it is,
Yeah.
And I told him, I can tell by the tone. He's playing that music. He's a big one.
Yeah.
So he comes up. Soon as he touched that road, like that guy, bang! He shot him, went right down, just like that. And that thing was 62 inches.
Oh.
Yes,
but it didn't. It really didn't have big palms. It was one of those bony ones. But yeah. And he was the cock of the walk up in that country. Holy cow! He didn't want any other bulls on that road but him, man.
It's funny how we start with fiddleheads and we end up with moose every time.
Every time.
So I did want to go back a little bit into the winter with your bobcat hunting, because we're getting down close to.
Yeah, I had a hell of a
the end of this
bobcat
one.
season this year, and me and my buddy Sandy Mosier, and Sandy's hunted with me for probably 35 years. We've hunted bobcats
Got to get him
together.
on here, Rick. That's
I
your
know.
mission.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to get him on here.
Well, we went to the Solon Hotel the other night. We went out. There was a band playing there, and I said, "We got to get on the podcast." And he just went. You guys
just listen to that guy. It's entertainment. Man.
I know.
He can tell a story like no one else.
I got a lot of video footage of him this winter, though.
Yeah.
And so I got 3 bobcat films on my YouTube channel, Rick Labbe's East West Adventures. So if you want to see some of that bobcat film, go to my YouTube channel and like and subscribe. But anyway, we killed 15 cats this winter. We let 5 more go, and 13 of the 15 were over 30 pounds.
Oh.
And best year we ever had as far as big cats. We've had years we killed more, but 30-pound cat's like a 200-pound buck.
Right.
That's a trophy.
Yeah,
big time.
So,
Cool.
And we killed 11 of those 30-pounders in 9 days.
Nice.
Just one right after the other.
Yeah.
And so, I hunting cats for since I was 7 years old, 61 now, so 54 years, and just learning all the spots in the state of Maine where they cross, and just, doing it my whole life. Just like deer hunting, you get better and better at finding the spots and where to locate them, where to head.
It was impressive. I got to tell you, like every time I looked on Facebook, you had a different one.
Yeah.
Every day.
Is that the same cat?
Right.
Just a different view.
He's dragging another one
what
out.
are they doing?
That's what I kept saying.
Got to look at the spots. All the spots are different. There's no two the same.
Yeah.
It's just like deer horns.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Sandy and I had a hell of a winter, and we only had 1.5-year-old dogs.
Nice.
So probably
It's only going to get better.
Didn't one of them get out of the pen or something at your house?
Yeah. One got out of the pen. I got to tell the story. So one got out of the pen. This was a new pup we just got at the end of the season, and Sandy drove down to New York, and this guy had two plot beagle mixes, and which make really good cat hounds, those cross dogs. So he drove down, picked him up, and he calls me up. He goes, "Jesus," he says, because he's got 3 females over at his house, and I got 2 females and 2 males with this new pup. His name's Hunter. So I put him in the kennel, and he's just a little thing. He's, I don't know, 8 months old, right? And I put bricks under the kennel, and I do that so I can shovel the dog shit right under it every day, and then I just scoop it all up and get rid of it. So that little sucker, he got right in under the kennel, underneath it, and he got out. I put him in there. Didn't even have him a day, right? And Nancy calls me. She goes, "Your dog's out." She goes, "He's running around the yard." And I get home, he's gone. So, and there's still snow on the ground, so I see tracks everywhere. So I'm following all over town. He'd been in every driveway around town. So I'm like, what the heck? So they always end up down at this woman's house behind my house, way down the end of the camp road. And, she's kind of an anti-hunter and anti-fisherman, I think. I don't know. And anyway, she always talks my ear off every time she comes up. She talks for a half hour. Nice lady, but so I pull into my yard, and she's in front of me. And Nancy calls me at the same time. She goes, "Hey, girl down back's got your dog." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, she's right in front of me." I said, "Okay." So she pulls into my yard, and I can see her looking in her rearview mirror. She drives up to my shop, and she drives up to the shop, and she gets right out, and she goes, "Oh, he came down to my house." She goes, "I fed him, and I pet him, and this, that, and the other." And I said, "Yeah, okay, thanks." I said, "I really appreciate you bringing him back." And she turns around, and there's like 12 bobcats hanging on the garage wall. And she goes, "Oh, my." And I thought she was going to faint. I was ready to catch her. But, and she just turns around, gets in her car, and drives off. I didn't have to go with any half-hour conversation. Or nothing.
That's how you end it, right?
Right, that was it. So I think it shocked her a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So anyway.
Well, you got your dog back.
Yeah, got the dog back. And
So,
but,
Had a Sasquatch sighting.
what's that?
Oh, yeah, Sasquatch.
Oh, it's Garnett. I'm sorry, it's Garnett.
oh, he just got done shed hunting.
Hey,
I don't even want to talk about it.
There he is.
Look at that shit-eating grin.
hey, No, they won't let us on the same podcast. Gunner,
All right.
I already tried this.
If they're taping you right now, I got some stories.
Oh,
Yeah. All right, we're gonna finish this one up, and we'll get started with the next one.
I gotta ask Rick a question though.
Yeah.
We still got a few minutes, Joe?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Is there more bobcats now than, let's say, 50 years, 40 years ago?
No. 40, 50 years ago, and I'll tell you the story. There's this old guy named Clausen that lived down on the coast, and he had a walker hound. I mean, he's been dead 40 years.
I remember him.
I was
Yes,
just
I
a
do.
kid.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, he was in his 90s, I think, when I died, and he still had an old pair of pickle snowshoes, and he never drove around. He'd just take the dog, and they'd just go into a fur thicket, and he'd walk in there and find a cat. There was so many cats back then, but we had no coyotes, and there was 100 times the rabbits there are now.
Yes, that was it.
The rabbit beats was so thick that it would almost pack the snow when I was a kid, and it would hold you up on snowshoes. There were so many rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was so much food, and they actually had a bounty on them in Maine
Yep.
back
I was
in the
gonna
early days.
ask
Right.
you about
so
that.
there
Yeah.
was so many cats, they had a bounty on them. And then the cats kind of disappeared. Like when I first met Sandy 35 years ago, we'd have to drive pretty near 30, 40, 50 miles a day to find one cat to run. And we weren't real picky on what size because we just wanted to run a cat, you know. So we'd run anything for a cat. And but you know, now I think it's because of turkeys. It has to be. But gray squirrels, red squirrels, and turkeys, those three are the main three sources of a bobcat's diet right there.
Sure ain't rabbits anymore.
No,
that's
it
for
ain't
sure.
rabbits.
Well, the reason I brought this up is you guys might not remember, but Lib might know about it. But 1946 or 7, they had a huge forest fire in southern Maine.
Yeah.
It burned Parsons Field,
Brownfield,
Limerick. Remember that? And old Mike Reynolds Honda, you know,
Yeah.
old Mike
Yeah.
Reynolds was Jack's brother. He was a big cat guy. And you probably heard of him. He was famous. But
Yeah.
they only hunted in that area. They never went anywhere. They
Right.
hunted. But when they had that forest fire, they blocked off Route 11, right? It's Route 11, I think, goes down through there.
Yeah, down through.
Yeah.
Alfred.
They were on block, and everybody in all the towns was fighting the fire. Back then, it was the people. They had everybody they could get on Route 11 to block that off to try to keep the fire from jumping over it.
Right.
And my uncle told me that if he didn't see 100 cats come across that road ahead of that fire, he
Wow.
didn't see a one.
Yeah.
He
Amazing.
said,
Wow.
and he was a
Yeah.
cat hunter,
Yeah.
as good as anybody there was.
Right.
He says, I never would have thought there was that many cats in my life as I saw across that road ahead of that fire.
Right.
There
He
must
said-
have been a lot of food there for him.
Yeah, well, because rabbits back then, there was.
Oh, when I grew
Right.
up,
I raised
we-
beagles,
yeah.
and we hunted it all the
I
time.
have
It was
a rabbit
crazy.
dog since I was a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was huge back when we were kids, huh? I can remember if you sold a rabbit dog for $35, you were like rich.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I bought
If I sold a rabbit dog, it weren't worth a shit. I can tell you that.
I bought a cat hound. I bought a cat hound 3 years ago, and I paid $8,000 for her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she wasn't that good.
Oh.
No, I had a big male one time. Real quick, I had a big male one time, and he would not get in the truck at the end of the day, and I'd about head it. He was either bullet or selling him. That's where it was.
Yeah, right.
So this guy says to me, Mike, you got any dogs? Oh, if I got a deal for you, bud. He was a great big rugged. So I sold it to him for like, I don't know, $20, $30. Just got rid of him, huh? I run into him about 2 years later. Hey, Ray, how's that beagle doing anyway? He goes, that's the best friggin' dog I ever had in my life. He runs rabbits all day long. I said, geez, really? I said, how's he do at the end of the day? Does he like the truck, get in the truck? Oh, yeah, he jumps right in. I said, I sold that dog for $20.
He lied.
I know you were just joking about the bullet, right?
I've had so many
You might get
dogs.
people fired up over that one.
Yeah, I've
Well,
had
I mean, I
so
was
many
trying to
dogs
make a
over the
point.
years. That I've just gave away because I said no, they ain't gonna make the cut with me. Coyote hounds, everything, and the guys will call me up a year later. That's the best freaking dog I've ever had. Catches every coyote. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. You just sometimes the light switch comes on early and late. Depends on the dog. Every dog's different.
Yeah.
It's funny because he was a good dog, but he just would not get in the truck for nothing.
Right.
You get tired of chasing him after a while.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
What else we got to talk about? Oh, nothing.
Garnett.
Yeah. So, wanted to cover a couple things. We've got Bad Lee's film coming out. I think talking the 28th of April. So actually, it'll have been out by the time this comes out. So, so check it out. It's
Trip in the True North, right?
Trip in the True North. Yeah, it's,
awesome.
Nice.
Ice fishing adventure up in the Allagash.
Yeah, and that's something. I mean,
I saw
talk about the True North and where it's headed. Like, I'm really pushing the adventure stuff. You know, I know we're gonna guide and outfit and stuff that you've done for years, Joe, and showcase different outfitters. That's what we want to do, but it seems like the adventure thing is really taking off lately. So if you're down for an adventure with me and some of the other guides, I got Lance Robinson. He's super into it right now. We're already booking cabins in the Allagash for next winter. We've got cooks lined up. So we're already planning on spending quite a bit of time next year in the Allagash catching fish and running the rivers and snowmobiling. So it just seems to be one of those things that you don't have to sit in a tree stand. Nobody cares if it weighs 200 pounds. Some days up there, it's just survival, you know.
Yeah.
I've been on my snowmobile at 7:30 at night, an hour from camp, thinking, I hope the tent's warm when I get back there.
I hope I make it.
Yeah, I hope I make it.
Yeah.
If I can just get to that tent, I'll
If I can
be
get
good.
across this next open stream. Right?
Yeah, those trailers are good. Jake Haskell there has done a really good job. And I also want to acknowledge Taylor Walker and what he's done to help us get this thing started. I mean, he's just done an incredible job helping us get the studio set up. And
For sure. I've never seen such a gravitation of good people to one cause. I mean, we're all good people, I think. We all get up every morning and try to do the best we can for each other and our neighbors. And I think that's coming back to us. I mean, the people coming out of the woodwork that are just super good people that are like, hey, Lib, interested in what you're doing. Tell me more. How do I get involved? That's a big deal.
I'm seeing names. I'm seeing names liking our stuff, sending our pictures. I haven't seen them guys' names for
years.
For 8 years. And all of a sudden I'm going,
Yeah.
geez, that guy, I like that guy. I haven't talked to him for 10 years now.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a great response.
And it just keeps growing. And I want people to know that we're coming. If I want to showcase more people throughout the state and New England that are just doing this every day and
absolutely,
and maybe even out west, you know, get out there and just show people. I know a lot of people are camera shy. They don't probably never get on a podcast and talk like your buddy Sandy, but just we want to help you live your life.
We're about you guys. That's
Live your dream.
That's what's so much.
In the True North.
That's what's so much fun, huh?
What we can
It
do.
is.
Being about everybody like that and everybody writing to us.
Yeah.
And
It is.
I'm going to throw this in here because Joe keeps kicking me, telling me to shut up.
My foot's over here.
You're not kicking me, Joe?
Is Lee playing footsies with you?
Playing with my leg.
Just like classroom.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, Youth Day is coming up next Saturday. We want your videos.
Yeah.
We want your pictures.
Yeah.
We want the stories. We want to see the kids smiling and get them in there. We'll get them. You know, you can post them yourself. That's a good thing about we let them. You know, you can post your own stuff.
Yeah.
So get them in there. We want them. We really do. We want to see the kids out there. And then when it turns into the adults on the next Monday, we don't want to see your stuff.
No, I mean the cool stuff that I don't know if anyone saw and I forget her name, but did you see the great picture of the girl with the
Katie Cody?
Yes, the buck on her back.
That was amazing.
What a shot!
Have you ever? So she is Mark Cody's a good friend of mine, and that's his daughter.
Yep.
And super nice girl. And I took her and her dad and her brother moose hunting a few years ago. And you know when you get in the truck with somebody and you're just friends, right? And that's how that family was with me. Like we were just friends, and we killed. They had 2 tags that year, and we killed one moose. And I was standing right beside of her and her brother, and that moose come right in at 20 feet, and they smoked that thing.
Yeah.
And then we went and tried to get her dad's tag filled, but what a super good outdoors, just all around. I mean, this girl is shooting deer every single year. She's shooting bear.
They from your area?
Yeah, she's Rumford.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
sent her a T-shirt and a hat and a sweatshirt, and she
Awesome.
sent me a thank you video. And I think I'm hoping, I like the kids and the women to get more involved,
Absolutely.
and I'm hoping she'll be a big advocate to get the women
That
involved.
weren't no tiny bucks she had thrown
No.
up on her shoulders there either.
That's
I didn't see
think
it.
that's
I
an
gotta see it.
Anacostia buck, and
Oh,
I think
was
it was
it?
close to 200 pounds.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
they posted that, and I saw it immediately when they posted it.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, that is the best thing I've seen for
Cody,
weeks, man."
Cody says that thing's been up for like 40 minutes and got like 86 likes
Yeah,
or
it did,
something.
yeah.
yeah.
He's
Jumped
like,
right on it.
So the other thing too is along those lines is we talked about on the first one is we want to get people on the podcast, guys that kill a buck every year and never talk about it, and characters that can tell a story. We'd love to have them on here and just talk to them and kind of hear what they have to say about their growing up and the way they live the lifestyle. So also before we finish, I wanted to mention we're going to be at Hunt Stock. We're going to be there in full force. We're going to camp out for the weekend, setting up the wall tents. Oh, it's
Can't
going to be a
wait.
party.
Yeah.
So
What's that? August 10th.
August 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you use promo code TTN, you'll get 10% off your ticket. So get your tickets now.
The one in Mass too, right?
It's the one in Mass.
That's the one. The
I'm
one
sorry,
in-
I should have
the one
said
in
that.
New York too.
Yeah. So that one, the 8th, 9th, and 10th is Mass. That's what we're going to be at.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to be at the New York one. I know I'm not going to be. That's July 11th, 12th, and 13th. But if you're down in the New York area, go out and support them.
But you can use that promo code there as well.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. The promo code's good for both of them.
Yeah.
10% off TTN. So the two
Massachusetts.
Pats have just done a phenomenal job.
Unbelievable.
With Hunt Stock. I'm
Unbelievable.
so impressed by
Yeah.
what they put together with Hunt Stock and just a few small events that I've put together in the past. I can only imagine what it's like, what they've done. I mean, it's
Amazing.
a
And they've
big
brought
thing to do.
they've brought hunting back around, but it's the young people. That place is the young people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's full of young people.
Yeah.
It really is.
I might have to dye my beard for that.
Oh, I'm
So
telling
I
you.
fit in.
I'd like to see that.
No.
Never, ever,
No.
ever. If you ever see me with a black beard, just punch me right in the face because I'm not going that route. But anyway, we got to get this wrapped up.
Right.
Garnett's going to eat all of our donuts if we don't. We got to get a break.
Nice.
But anyway, we really appreciate everyone listening. We appreciate all the support. We're having a great time doing this and looking forward to doing it for a long time. So
Yeah.
anyway, be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe because that's how how we get our followers, and it's important for us as we get sponsors moving ahead. That's what's going to be able to keep us going doing this. Also, obviously on Facebook, Instagram, like and follow us. And also on any of the podcast apps, if you leave a review if you rate us 5 stars, that's great. But if you can rate us 5 stars and then leave a review at that, it helps the algorithm and it kind of gets us up to the top and gets us more listeners, which gets us to keep doing this for a longer time.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
anyway, we appreciate the support as always.
Remember, folks, till next time, shoot straight.